I have never fought a fight harder than the fight my mind fights against itself. I have two equally tenacious parts of my mind that are often at odds with one another. I go back and forth endlessly, never able to resolve the struggle, because I do not know which part is true. It takes all my energy to keep vacillating and watch the battle being played out. I can almost see it visually. I see one side arguing with the other. The two are diametrically opposed, and each side is equally strong. To me, each of these struggles is the fight of my life. To my therapist, it is something I suffer from called ambivalence. During these fights, I can be thinking one thing, but then, when the antagonistic thought comes in, I can actually feel my brain split. Sometimes it feels as though one part is the good part that punishes the bad part and causes me pain. Sometimes one part seems to censor what the other is allowed to feel.
One part is a victim of the people in my head, the other part joins with my therapist in fighting them. What is similar about all these dichotomies is that they basically separate the part of me that is real from the part that is unreal. It is a battle between sanity and insanity. When my brain is pulled together, I feel solid. I can literally feel my feet on the ground and I can feel that my thinking is clear. This state occurs rarely.
When I am crazy, the insane parts take over. I am a victim of delusion, unreal thoughts, and severe disorganization. I have some sorts of hallucinations and many visual and auditory distortions. When I am in the former state, I feel good but tenuous, waiting for it to fall apart any minute.
When my therapist goes away, I get furious, but I'm not allowed to express my anger in words because the real part of me hears him saying that people do come and go and that he has his own life to lead. The result is that I cannot express my anger except by hurting myself. Although I have worked hard on this and no longer cut myself or burn myself, I fear that if I reveal how truly angry I am, he will stop being my therapist. And so I have self-destructive feelings once again. Now, however, I am learning to talk about my feelings instead of acting on them. An example of the slow integration of the two parts. It was only recently that I recognised this censoring mechanism with regard to my therapist's vacations. I slowed down enough to see the two parts of myself, and I heard one part saying it was angry, while the other part rejoined with, "No, you can't feel that way. It's not allowed because it doesn't make sense." This process used to move so fast that it made me crazy, and I always ended up hurting myself or getting psychotic and ending up in hospital. If I was not already in the hospital, I always went in while my therapist was gone or when he got back because my rage caused such intense internal turmoil.
When I am working with my therapist, a part of me wants to work to dispel delusions, while a part of me is frightened and resists. This is particularly true with the people. When I first began talking about them, after I would tell my therapist something, I was afraid they would be waiting right outside his door to ambush me and beat me up. Inside his office, I could resolve to be on his side, and together we would be stronger than they were.
Perhaps the hardest part of beginning to recover from schizophrenia is the passing back and forth from one part to the other. The movement from sanity into insanity. I find this most difficult because it's excruciating to be grounded and then to feel this pull out from under you, suddenly or gradually crumbled under stress. Often I wish that they had left me in the world of insanity, where everything is predictable, all the same, and nothing changes. Now I'm often uncertain as to whether I am sane or insane, and find that most of the time I'm a mixture of the two. A condition I find almost impossible to tolerate because the uncertainty is so painful and terrifying. I have basically a small amount of time early in the morning, about 2/3 of the time, when I feel clear and sane and sure of things.
Thus, a blend of the real and the imagined may be what the person with schizophrenia should work toward, and perhaps it is this blend that makes the schizophrenic individual so unique.